Well, good morning and welcome to everyone this morning. I'd like to start by making you aware that council meetings are available live through Zoom and recordings may be posted online on County of Huron's YouTube channel. You may be seen and or heard as part of these broadcasts, and your name, comments, and or presentation materials will become part of the public record. And with that, I will call this meeting to order and start off with a couple of warden's remarks. Just a reminder to County Council that today is the open house for the Brussels EMS edition that was built last year, and that is from 11 till 3. So anybody that is able to make that and tour that facility, today's the day for doing that. And also just wanted to draw your attention to the Habitat for Humanity here in County. They celebrated their 20th anniversary, and they have built 18 homes in the last 20 years across Huron County. I think that's a real good milestone for them to reach. And it was good just to get together with them as they celebrated the 20 years, and specifically just to thank all the many volunteers and the many hours that go into making those homes possible. So good work. They've done a great job, and we certainly wish them success as they continue for the next 20 years. So with that, I would be looking for an approval of our agenda this morning. So that's past Warden Ginn, seconded by Councillor Finch. Those in favor? That is carried. Is there any pecuniary interest that anyone needs to declare at this time? Seeing none, then I'll go on to the minutes of our previous meetings. There's 4 sets of minutes there that would be looking for adoption. So that's Councillor Goderich, past Warden McNeil would second that. Those in favor? And that is carried. We're at item 7 on our agenda, and that's councillor comments. And I'd open it up if there's anything from council at this time. And Councillor Finch, please.
Yeah, thank you. And through Warden, just going to refer to an email that we received yesterday from our clerk in regards to the Hader Farms. I know we've had some discussions on this before the meeting here with staff. I just wonder if staff could probably comment on our position on that.
So, Vicky, are you prepared to be able to make some comments on that?
Through you, Warden, if Councillor Finch had a specific request, I would be more than happy to comment on that request and our ability to act on it.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm looking for, can we support what has been asked to be supported from the Hader Farms?
So that sounds to me like a staff report then, Councillor Finch, on the request from Hader Farms.
That's correct.
And Vicky, I think that would be channeled through your stream there.
I would be more than happy to produce that report.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so then that would be needed in a form of motion, Councillor Finch. So you would make that as a motion for staff report, and Councillor Noel would be a seconder for that. Councillor Anderson, please.
Thank you, Warden. So this report will be for all of Huron County, not just for Hader turkeys, because there are a lot of other farmers within the Huron County that have migrant workers.
Through you, Warden, to Council, yes, it would be an overview of the situation in Huron County with regard to temporary foreign workers serving the agricultural sector. It is not within the mandate of the LIP to comment on individual employee or employer situations, but it is absolutely within our mandate to give an overview of the situation facing temporary foreign workers in our communities.
Okay. Any other questions? Then I will call those in favor of that motion, and that is carried. Anything else under councillor issues? Councillor McLellan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I'm not sure if this is the proper place or who to direct this to, but at our Huron East Council, we had received correspondence regarding livestock being killed by wildlife, namely coyotes, and farmers being paid out for their losses. The discussion went to coyotes being spotted more near towns and villages as well as farms. So this is the ask, should Huron County petition or ask for a coyote cull in Huron County? Thank you.
So our clerk informs me we do have a bylaw in place regarding that. Clerk, could you speak to that, please?
So we do have a bylaw in place, coyote compensation bylaw, I think it's called. And we've been doing this for many, many years. The Ministry of Natural Resources maybe downloaded it to us, and we've put the bylaw in place that gives the power basically to our local municipalities. So if there is a livestock kill by a coyote, you're required to have an appointed livestock valuator come in and review that, say, yes, that was. Then you are required to have an appointed hunter come within the area, and they can within, I'm not sure whether it's 5 kilometers or I think 5 kilometers, 5 miles, can hunt within that area up to 10 coyotes, and there's a compensation of $100 per pellet. That is all at our local municipalities. They send the form that's already done to us and we pay it. Is there more requested?
No, I think that's everything, Susan. Thank you very much.
Okay, anything else under councillor comments? All right, we will move on to our consent agenda, items 8.1 to 8.6. Is there anything on that list that anybody wants to pull and speak to? And if not, then I'd be looking for a motion to receive the consent agenda. So Councillor Anderson would make that motion. Councillor Becker would second that. Those in favor? That is carried. And under planning and development, we have an update on our forest conservation bylaw cases. And Dave Pullen is here to present that for us. So welcome, Dave, and start when you're ready.
Good morning, Mr. Warden and Council and colleagues. Huron County's Forest Conservation Bylaw is designed to protect and enhance forests, water, soil, fish, and wildlife resources in the county. And it's been nearly 80 years that we've been doing that. Back in 1947, the first, what was known as the tree bylaw was brought in. In all cases, and this goes back quite a bit in history as well, we've tried to work proactively with the woodland owners in the county to make sure that we avoid contraventions of the bylaw. But where significant contraventions have occurred, charges are laid based on legal opinion. And in all instances, we proactively work to resolve cases before they go to trial. We had 3 cases that started back in 2023, and those have recently been settled with substantial fines and convictions. The first case was on a property in Central Huron involving the destruction of nearly 1 acre of woodland related to a building project. Fines of $52,000 plus a 25% victim surcharge were levied against a corporation and 2 of its directors. This fine was agreed to by both parties, and guilty pleas and convictions were registered. The second case was a little different. It involved the destruction of approximately 6 acres of woodland and also failure to comply with a stop work order on the site in Huron East. A resolution could not be achieved, so a court trial took place. A corporation and the director of that corporation were each found guilty and fined $200,000 each, plus 25% victim surcharge, for a total penalty of $500,000. In addition, the court ordered both the director and the corporation to be subject to a probation order for a period of 2 years. The third case involved the same individual as the second case, as well as a contractor from Perth County hired by that individual. The case involved the destruction of approximately 10 acres of woodland on a property in Huron East. Prior to a lengthy trial, a settlement was negotiated between the county and the defendants. This case also involved violation of not adhering to a stop work order. Total penalties imposed were $150,000 payable by the owner and $30,000 payable by the contractor and its principals, plus the 25% victim surcharge, for a total of $225,000. I'd just like to say again and reiterate that our focus is always on proactive consultations ahead of tree removal and clearing of woodlands. Usually when I get to a site where somebody has called me in to do a pre-consultation, we can figure things out quite easily. There may be a little bit can be done. Certainly all woodland owners in the county are able to work within the bylaw to harvest trees and to do things in their woodlands. There's also an exemption for people who are cutting firewood, and we're getting into firewood season right now. So as long as people are not land clearing or reducing the footprint of the woodland or reducing it below the definition of a woodland, people are able to go to the bush and cut wood and do so to their heart's content. So I just wanted to make that clear, and thank you for having me this morning.
Well, thank you, Dave, for bringing us that information. And I'm going to suggest that there is a motion in our agenda to receive the report from Dave, and I'd be looking for some direction from council regarding that. Councillor Heffer would make that motion to receive. Councillor McClellan would second that. Any further discussion? Past Warden McClellan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I don't know if we're allowed to discuss this in open session, but there was discussion of also some other tools that could be available. We're not at a point where we can discuss that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I am going to call the question. Those in favor of receiving this report, and that is carried. Thank you, Dave. Going to move on in our agenda to cultural services. And it's the Huron County Museum Collections Deaccession Report. And Beth is available for any questions that council would have on that report. And I'm not seeing any questions, so then I would be looking for a motion then to receive the report. Past Warden Ginn, Past Warden McNeil would second that. Those in favor, and that is carried. Under administration, policies, and other issues, we have the renewal of our integrity commissioner and our ombudsman and closed meeting investigator appointment. And Susan is available for any questions regarding this report. So motion moved by Councillor Klopp, seconded by Councillor Noel. Any further discussion? Those in favor? And that is carried. Our strategic priorities chart is here, and our CAO Megan is available for any questions if there is any regarding that chart. And if there is no questions on that, again, I'd be looking for a motion to receive this report. That's Councillor Harding. Councillor Dietrich would second that. Those in favor? And that is carried. Several items under correspondence. I'm going to ask if there's any specific items anybody wants to bring forward. Councillor Noel, please.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I am looking specifically at items 12.1, 12.8, 12.2. No, that's not right. 12.19. Anyway, there are 4 letters we received about mandatory water safety and swim to survive training in the elementary school curriculum, and I'd like to support those, please.
Okay. All those all together.
They're the exact same motions.
Okay. So just checking with the clerk that we can lump all those together as one motion, and we can. So that would be a motion put forward by Councillor Noel, and Councillor Harding would second that. Those in favor? And that is carried. Councillor Finch.
Yeah, 12.4, just looking for an update on what we've asked for delegations at Roma. I understand Ministry of Education, perhaps?
And CAO work will address that question.
Yeah, certainly through you. There have been 4 requests that have been submitted, one for before and after school. We've actually been in correspondence with South Huron about that, to the Ministry of Education as well as to the Ministry of Finance in relation to downloading and in relation to housing, 2 separate issues about requesting additional funding to help support our housing initiatives through MMAH.
And thank you for that. I just want to make sure we don't overlap each other and work together between lower tier and the county. Thank you very much for that.
Anything else? Councillor Basnet, please.
Through you, Mr. Warden, item 12.14 is Town of Goderich correspondence regarding court security shortfall requests. Is that just going to be referred to budget? Or do we
Yes.
need a motion for that?
Yes, that letter has come forward and that will now be under consideration for budget.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay. And staff would like a motion. So you would put that forward
I'll put that forward, yes.
and a seconder for that. Councillor McClellan, those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Last call for anything under correspondence? Then we'd be looking for a motion to accept the correspondence that was not specifically dealt with for information. So past Warden Ginn, Councillor Anderson, those in favor, that is carried. Under new and unfinished business, Barb is available for questions under the emergency response activation agreement. Is there any questions for Barb on that? And if not, then we'd be looking for a motion to receive the report and enter into the agreement with the Canadian Red Cross Society. Councillor Vanstone, Councillor Dietrich seconds that. Those in favor, that is carried. And I'd look for a mover and a seconder to pass the presented bylaw number 25079. That's past Warden McClellan. Councillor Basnet seconds that. Those in favor of that bylaw, that is carried. We're moving right along in our agenda, and we're at a place where our Director of Economic Development has a very sad announcement to make for us.
Thank you, Warden, for that introduction. It is with very mixed emotions that I am announcing to Council my retirement. So my last day with all of you wonderful people will be January 31st, 2026. And I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to work with this council and the previous one and the ones before that in a different capacity. It has been an honor and a privilege. And so thank you.
And Vicky, it has been a pleasure for council to have you representing us in your capacity at the Economic Development Department, and we're certainly going to miss you. And I knew this announcement was coming, so I'd asked ahead of time if I said no and it couldn't be on the agenda, if that would avoid us going through this. But unfortunately, this is where we are. So, but we certainly wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and hope that we meet up often in the future. We do have a closed to public session, so I'm going to suggest we just take about a 10-minute reprieve here and give our clerk opportunity to get us set up for closed session. And maybe if we did that by motion, that would be appreciated by the clerk. So past Warden McClellan and Councillor Finch would second that. Those in favor of entering into closed session, that is carried. Thank you. Okay, so now I'd be looking for a motion that we re-enter open session of council. So Councillor Harding, past Warden Ginn, those in favor, that is carried. And our CAO work will do a report out of closed session.
Thank you very much. Through you, Mr. Warden, the purpose of going into closed session today was for council to receive information on the non-union compensation review.
And now I would be looking for a motion to direct staff to proceed as per direction given in closed session. And Councillor Dietrich, Councillor Vanstone seconds that. Those in favor, that is carried. Make notice of the upcoming meetings and your responsibilities to those. And we're at a point in the agenda where I'd be looking for someone willing to confirm our actions for the morning. Councillor Vanstone, seconded by Councillor Becker. Those in favor, that is carried. And who would like to wrap it up? Councillor Dietrich and Councillor Heffer would choose to adjourn our meeting. Those in favor of adjournment. Everyone is good with that. So thank you for your attention to the details today.